This is Hannibal here from the HannibalTV.com, and I just finished watching WWE's WrestleMania 40 Behind the Curtain documentary, which you could say The Rock, Roman Reigns, Triple H, and Cody Rhodes are the stars of. I will say right away, this is the first WWE quote unquote show that I have watched in a very long time, and I watched it from start to finish. So say what you want about WWE. For somebody that's not actually a fan of the product overall, I was able to watch this, and it only started to get tedious at the end when they were showing a lot of the wrestling. But it wasn't that bad. But I mean, it's at some point for some reason for people like me, we're still fans of like the news of wrestling and the behind the scenes stuff, but we don't like actually watching wrestling anymore. It's kind of strange. Maybe I don't like watching it because in this documentary, it's not kayfabe. They're like talking about how the match came together and everything. So why would I want to see it if there's no kayfabe to it? At the same time, I understand why they did it because the whole purpose of the documentary is behind the scenes. Triple H gets himself over in this big time. I mean, there's no question he seems to be running a lot of things behind the scenes, and this documentary showed it well. The Rock basically talking about his final boss character is a legitimate character. He really is he's on the board of directors at WWE, and he's the biggest Hollywood movie star arguably. So he can do whatever he wants. He is the final boss. They talk about why they ended up changing the match in this from The Rock versus Roman Reigns to the tag team match, and then ultimately Cody Rhodes versus Roman Reigns, which you can't argue that the turn ended up being good for those pay-per-views. Though the only problem with it is what you get from watching this is you want to see The Rock against Cody Rhodes, which they're probably going to do at next year's WrestleMania. And it's like we kind of know that nothing's really going to happen with Cody Rhodes in his title reign between now and then. So as far as looking forward to next year's WrestleMania, yes, but the in-between title matches, there hasn't been one that's really trended massively so far yet, and it's because of the way that they're going about this, that they're already leading to this match at WrestleMania, so no one really believes Cody is gonna lose the title. One thing I will find interesting, and they show a lot of Cody Rhodes footage in this, and they talk about the feud. A big part of the feud was the insulting of Cody Rhodes' family. They talk about the Rhodeses never winning, the WWE title, blah, 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 blah. They show clips of Cody doing the American Dream elbow with the American Dream mannerisms. They show his bus parked out in front of a picture of Dusty on a truck. So the one thing, and I'm not saying anything is wrong with this, because it's what eventually got him over. Right now, he's over the most of his career, is when he attaches himself to Dusty Rhodes. Let's face it, that's the reason. I'm not saying he's not talented, but that's the reason he was initially signed to a contract to train. And him being Dusty Rhodes' son opens a lot of doors. There's nepotism in wrestling. But the one thing I find funny is back, if you remember, when he had his open challenge in AEW, the reason why he said he would not have a match with me, which I'll put up on the screen right now, despite Jerry Jarrett, Billy Graham, Conan, Bushwhacker Luke, Terry Funk. Terry Funk, this was actually the last time I talked to him, was about this match. His reason for not wanting to wrestle me was because according to him, I insulted his dead father, which I didn't, by the way. You can go back and look at that promo. But now the whole thing with The Rock was insulting his father. So what ultimately got him over was adding his father and family into the feuds. And it's just the way it is. So overall, I would say, I mean, the documentary's interesting. They kept it kayfabe as far as they didn't show any behind the scenes interaction with Cody and Seth and The Rock and Roman out of character. So they kept it kayfabe as far as that, but they definitely talk about their creative processes and so forth. But yeah, again, everybody wanted to see that match at that point in time, and they gave a lot of people that had no momentum to wrestle Cody opportunities. So I just find it funny that his reason for not wrestling me was because I mentioned Dusty in my promo, and now he's like fully embracing being Dusty's son.